Assalamu alaikum everyone. So in today's video we are going to solve question number 1 and 2 of exercise 4.1. I am sharing the front page of the book also. So let's talk about polynomials. Polynomials are variables that have positive powers only. If the variable is having negative power, that will not be considered a polynomial. So in the first example you can see x is having 1 power, y is having 2 power, and in 2x, y, z all the 1 powers are there. But in the second example, the y and x in the denominator have negative power because they are in the denominator. When they will come on the in the numerator, they will be having negative power, so that is not a polynomial. So we are going to solve this question of exercise. So question is identify that these expressions are polynomials or not. We will discuss them one by one. So first one is 3x square plus 1 by x minus 5. So I hope you are very clear because x is in the denominator. So when it will come in the numerator, the power will be minus 1. So this is not a polynomial. In the second question, 3x cube 4x square minus x into x plus 3. This is also not a polynomial. Why? So why it is not a polynomial? Because there is a power of because there is a square root there, and square root is having 1 by 2 power, so that is also not a polynomial. So in the third example, there is a square root, but the square root is not having variable inside, so that is a polynomial because x square and minus 3x, they are both having positive power, so that's why it's a polynomial. In the last example, again there is x in the denominator, so it's not a polynomial. So I hope things are clear. Second and third parts are different from each other. In second part, in square root there is variable, but in the third part, in the square root there is a constant value, so that makes the two questions different from each other. So you should be very clear about it. So second part is not a polynomial because there is a root and variable is inside root. So but in the third part, it's a polynomial because there is a constant in the root, so that will not that will not be applied on the definition of polynomials. All right, so you can take more examples so we can further solve it. So moving on to next part of the video, so we will talk about rational numbers and rational expressions. So we all know rational numbers, the definition is that they are those numbers which can be written in form of p by q, but q should not be 0. This is the definition of rational numbers. If q is 0, that will make it irrational number. So same is the case with rational expression. Rational expressions are when p by x divided by q by x, we can write them in this form where q by x is not equal to 0. Same definition, just the only difference is that in rational numbers we talk about numbers, but in rational expressions we talk about polynomials. So p by x and q by x both are polynomials. So the important thing here is that every polynomial is a rational expression with denominator 1. This is very important point. So every polynomial, if I say x square, so it's a rational expression because there is a 1 in the denominator, which is invisible math. So the second point is every rational expression may or may not be a polynomial. The other way around is sometimes true and sometimes not. So let's talk about question number 2 now. We will discuss every part one by one. So the following expressions are rational or not. Let's talk about first part, 3x square root, and then again 3x square root plus 5. So it's not a rational expression. Why? Because x can have any power. So we all know that some roots are, or some square roots are rational, but some square roots are irrational. When we talk about irrational numbers, the biggest example or the simplest you can say example is square root of 2. So if value of x is 2, then this expression is not a rational expression. So x can get any value and that will make it a irrational expression. So it's not mandatory, it's a rational expression. But in the second case, it's the similar case as we discussed in question number 1. So it is a rational expression because there is only one square root, that is square root of 3. So square root of 3 itself is rational number. It's not an irrational number. So